Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I create lots of painting and art content, but I also really love to journal. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know I absolutely love junk journaling. The wonderful Meg from Meg Journals hosts a challenge twice a year called Junk Journal January or Junk Journal July. And I have absolutely loved creating the graphics for this challenge over the last 3 years. I think I've done it, and also being part of the collaboration. So this year is the 10th Junk Journal challenge that Meg has hosted, and so to celebrate, she has created a best of prompt list. So I'll pop the Junk Journal July 2023 prompt list on screen now, which I loved creating. Meg always gives me a really lovely open brief, and this was created using actual junk journal materials, so I like to create it in a physical form. And so there's a new prompt for every day, as well as a new video from a creative journaler, and I will leave a link down below because it's a really great challenge. There's lots of creativity and I'm really excited to see everybody's videos. So like I mentioned, it's a best of challenge this year, so lots of favourite prompts from past challenges, and I am here on day 5 of the challenge to share with you my response to the prompt of fold out. Now, as soon as I saw this prompt on the list, I was really excited by it because if you've seen any of my journals before, you'll know I love to build some interaction into my pages. You'll also have seen at the beginning that this is an older journal, so I started this in 2022, and as with a lot of my hobbies, I don't often spend as much time as I'd like. But I've talked about it on my channel before about the importance of just creating when you want to and not feeling behind. So I decided to just stick on a 2023 label and use it for this year's challenge as well. And I just love to create lots of fold outs and flaps and interactive elements in my spreads. And so I just knew that this prompt was the one for me, and you'll see that I create 2 different fold outs in this spread, and I'll share the process and show you how I do it. So one of the reasons why I love a fold out is just because it really means you have to interact with the page, but it also means that you can hide things. So if you don't want all of your journaling on show, a fold out is a really nice way to hide that from plain sight. And I also just really like how you have to get in there and move elements and flip things up and fold things out. And I just think that's a really nice way to interact with a journal. And it also means that you have more space on the page to play with. So you can see here I've cut out some paper and I'm putting it into the envelope. I started with a postcard on the left, so that folds out with the washi tape connecting that to the page. And then I thought it would be cool to have this folding out from an envelope rather than just on the page. So I have taped some pieces of paper from books together as well as a music sheet. And I'm actually attaching that straight into the envelope, so it can't be pulled out completely, but that's absolutely an option if you did want it completely removable. It means that I've got way more pages on this spread to fill, and I just love that. I really enjoy working to a smaller scale, so you could create smaller little foldouts like this, but it gives you way more real estate on the page, especially if you want to add on a huge amount of journaling or photo pockets or to add photos onto the fold out. It just means that there's more space, and I just love to really fill my spread so there's loads to look at. I'm using some letter stickers here just to make it clear that this can be pulled out. Generally I'm the only one that looks through my journals, but I really love the effect of those letters on there. And I haven't completely filled this spread yet, so this will probably keep being added to. I really enjoy collaging and creating mini collage clusters, so I've just started it here. I've used some washi tape there and this floral sticker, as well as putting on that little bit of text above. And I love to layer with stamps and lots of different ephemera, so I have a huge box full of junk journaling ephemera. But I also added on this little 5th of July calendar page, and I can definitely add more here. I could add on little bits of lined paper if I did want more journaling on there, but as well as the front I could also decorate the back, so it just gives me way more space. I'm adding on the first piece of paper I tore up when I originally thought I was just going to collage the background and add that on here because I decided that the envelope would be the main element on this page. And I generally don't have a plan when I journal. I take elements and I see where I go with them. So this was definitely an organic approach, and I didn't know what I was going to do when I first started it. But I love that about journaling. I love that it depends on your mood and the things that you find that day from your stash, or if you've been out and you want to use some actual ephemera. I just love that it's unplanned and spontaneous, and I think that's a really good thing for creativity. So I'm securing the postcard on again, as well as the envelope, and I do like to do the washi tape front and back just to make it a bit more secure. And so now I'm on the actual page, the paper of the journal that was handmade, and I will leave a link up above and in the description for making this book. But I'm just using some larger elements. I find that's a good way to start if you're not sure, of starting with your larger decorative papers, adding washi tape and securing it to the page with glue or however you like, and then working on top of that with your smaller elements. So I did want some space for journaling, which was hidden underneath the envelope, so I've popped that there. And this spread is quite simple. Most of my journaling spreads are quite simple because I like to add to it as I go. It's not necessarily finished at the end of this video because I can come back to it with more of my little bits, like more stamps and washi tape, when I do come to journal in here. So here's my main piece that I was planning on having as a fold out, and this was created from a H&M bag. So you'll have seen at the beginning that I covered it in some white gouache paint. You can also use acrylic, but that's just to get rid of the red H&M logo. And I trimmed this down, so I just like to tear because I don't often use scissors to cut because I really like the rough edge it gives. And I'm just sticking on a postcard, so I really like that pop of blue because there was quite a lot of brown paper on this spread, so I've added that to the top, and then I'm sticking down the second fold out of my page. So this is another sort of concertina style one. Again, it just gives me more real estate to work with on the page, and I wasn't sure if it was right to have torn it down, but I actually think that works really nicely and means it's not too overpowering for the rest of the spread. I'm adding on some little Neocolor details there, just as a drawn little element. I'm really interested in adding more artistic bits like that to my pages lately, and also adding on this old clothing tag to the front. Again, it just helps me to be able to pull it, so I think tags and little bits of string like that is a really nice way to add some more materials to your page, and it works really well with fold outs as well. I'm just adding some black chipboard letters here just so I can spell out fold out, because I do like to write down or add stickers on to spell out the prompt for that day. I'm not going to do all of the Junk Journal July prompts this month because it's a really busy month for me, but I do think it's one of those things that can be done after the month, so you don't have to feel really pressured to get it all done, and likewise you don't have to do every single prompt either. I know Meg is a big believer in doing what works for you, so if you don't want to do every single prompt of this challenge, you absolutely don't have to. And in the past I've done a few and dipped in and out depending on my time and my mood. I'm just cutting up some extra elements here. You can see I've put that washi tape along the bottom as like my main piece that stretches all the way along this brown piece of paper. And then again, I've just gone into my junk journaling box and picked out things that I wanted to add. Like I said before, I will keep adding to this, but it's really nice to have this as a base to then work on when I do come to actually journal in it. I'm adding on some letter stickers from Tim Holtz as well, just because I thought it was really nice to balance out the bits of black that I've already put on the page with my other letter stickers from the pull on the other side, and also the black letters for the fold out text. And I really like the way this looks. So just last finishing touches, and I will share how the final spread turned out. I really like how this spread looks. There's a lot of pulley bits and interactivity. I like that things are hidden behind other things, and there's so much space for me to continue to add and work on. And I'm excited to fill the spread out and also work on the other prompts from this month's challenge. You can find more information about Junk Journal July in the description box, where I've linked the playlist, so you'll be able to see everybody else's response and videos for the challenge down there, and Meg will be adding each video daily, so a really great place to find some journaling inspiration. A huge thank you to Meg for inviting me to take part again, and I hope this has inspired you to create your own fold-outs in your junk journals. I'll see you next Sunday with a new video, and I hope you have a creative week. See you later.